Dream, 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 dream. Welcome to your AEW WrestleDream predictions. That's a Fraser Porter.
It is.
I'm not a Fraser Porter,
no.
but I'm putting this up against the Fraser Porter that's there.
I want it back.
Would you like it?
It's been a while since I've had it, Tom. I want it back.
See how you get on. You won't. Let's predict some wrestling.
Our first match of the night is the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles on the line as MJF takes on The Righteous in a handicap match. Tom, who do you think is walking out with the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles?
What a twist in the tale. Poor Adam Cole twisting up his ankle, leading to where we're at today. Has he really twisted it? I guess that's another story for another time. I don't see MJF, the AEW World Champion, being pinned by either of the Righteous. Sorry, lads.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think there's going to be shenanigans, there's going to be chicanery, and MJF is going to leave with both belts for his good best bro chacho, Adam Cole. Who you got and why?
I completely agree with your reasoning. It makes no sense to have the World Champion lose to the Righteous and lose the tag team belts. I'm sort of torn whether they'll have someone that comes in Adam Cole's place and goes, right, I'll team with you for this one night.
Who did they catch?
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's Captain Insano. He's a new bro chacho.
Oh my.
I'm not too sure. Maybe we'll see that, but I do think that MJF, the AEW World Champion, leaves still Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion after Sunday.
That's genuinely just occurred to me.
Imagine if it's Captain Insano and MJF.
Imagine.
MJF in matching Captain Insano gear.
Do not threaten me.
It was a
with
big
good time.
catch.
Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, are taking on the Don Callis family. The newest entrants, Sammy Guevara, Will Ospreay and Takeshita. Who you got and why?
I've been saying this for a very, very long time, that Kenny Omega is going to beat a member of the Don Callis family. I said it at All In, I said it at All Out, and I'm saying it for WrestleDream. I think Jericho and the Golden Elite are beating Don Callis' family of horrible people, naughty people. I think it's going to be Kenny Omega's time or the Golden Elite's time and Jericho's time, but I think it's going to be a case of Jericho pinning like Guevara. I don't think we're going to get an Omega getting a win over on Ospreay, or even Jericho getting a win over on Ospreay. I think it's going to be Jericho pinning Guevara, and that's the way we get it. And then it strings along to another match between Takeshita and Omega, or Omega and Ospreay. It's a tough one to call though, because I've been wrong every single month, and it cost me that.
I've been saying for a long time that Don Callis and his boys are just going to keep on beating Kenny Omega.
You have been saying it, yeah.
And I think that continues. I think Don Callis and the lads are once again getting one up on Omega. Admittedly, in the wrestling lore of things, by now, you should have maybe the babyface start to mount some sort of comeback in the story. Nah, not in this one. Not in this one. I need more Mel Coleman pictures of potential ways that Kenny Omega could suffer at the hands of Don Callis and co. So I'm picking Don Callis and the boys. Come on.
He does have Ospreay on the team.
He does have Ospreay on the team.
The next match is the 2 out of 3 falls match for the TNT title as Christian Cage, the actual TNT champion, defends against Darby Allin. Who have you got?
Well, Christian Cage is going to continue his long-standing legacy as TNT champion that has been unbroken for a long time. Don't even at me. Cage is winning this. There's going to be usual Cage-flavoured silliness to get there. I like the 2 out of 3 fall stick because it does add a little bit of, it adds a lot of bit of jeopardy, really.
Yeah, right.
I think Darby Allin takes the first fall dead quick.
You think he loses the first fall, or
I think he wins. He gets
Right.
He pins Christian Cage dead quick,
and he's got to make the comeback.
and then it's a comeback.
Babyface Christian
The
Cage
comeback, but
has to come from the rear to.
I think, well, he could do that as well if he likes. I think, however this shakes, Christian Cage is leaving still as TNT champion. Who you got and why?
I think it's also Christian Cage. His reign as TNT champion is in the history books. He's storied as TNT champion, the greatest of all time. And I think he continues that reign. Darby doesn't need the TNT title. He doesn't need it again. He's had it too many times now. Christian Cage just won it officially last Saturday, but this has been the best work in ages in Christian Cage's career. I think this is some of the most entertaining stuff he's done. I do think Darby Allin does get the first fall. I think Christian Cage will be the one that is trying to mount a comeback. And we're going to see some shenanigans. I think we're going to see Nick Wayne appear. We're going to maybe see Sting. We're going to see Luchasaurus get involved. Maybe even Jack Perry. I think we might see a little thing with Jack Perry reuniting with Christian Cage and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Maybe. I don't know. Hypothetical. I think it could happen here. They've mentioned him a bit more on TV. I think Christian Cage is leaving TNT. Leaving WrestleDream as TNT champion.
The TBS title on the line. Kris Statlander puts it up against the House of Black's Julia Hart. Who you got and why?
I was kind of torn on this one because Julia Hart has been unbeaten for 17 months. She's not lost in 17 months.
Oh, yeah.
And the last person to beat her was Kris Statlander.
Oh, yeah.
TBS champion Kris Statlander. And they're getting the rematch here on WrestleDream. And I think I want it to be Julia Hart, because I think it would really freshen up some of the act. It would like sort of legitimize her as a mainstay in the division, but it just still feels like Kris Statlander is getting started. Obviously her win over new WWE signing Jade Cargill just a few weeks ago, it sort of cemented her as the focal point of the division, and I don't think she's losing it here. As much as I do actually want it, I'm sticking with Kris Statlander.
I don't see Statlander losing here either. I think, you have that pivotal win against Jade Cargill. And whilst Julia Hart, it's great to see her in the mix here, I don't see her as a champion right now. I really don't. It's great to see her in the fold, but this is just another big win for Kris Statlander on her way to becoming an excellent TBS champion. Boop. She doesn't boop no more, does she?
No. You boop now.
Savage.
The next match is Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. I know you're very excited for this match, Tom. This has been the one that you've been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks. Who do you think leaves WrestleDream with a victory?
Well, this is a story all about how Starks and Wheeler got down to have a fight. Well, basically, Starks was going to shake Bryan Danielson's hand. Wheeler said, "Oh, don't do that." Wheeler realised that was a mistake, tried to apologise. Starks bit his head off. They're having a fight. What more could you need from your wrestling? Ricky Starks is winning. This seems very just hoid in there. I think it's leading to something grander. But obviously, off the back of Bryan Danielson and Ricky Starks, this is a little stop along the way. I don't see Yuta being any major threat to Ricky Starks. I think Starks picks up a win and maybe squares up to Bryan again.
Yeah, I think you're kind of right. This feels very much like they've looked at the running order of the show and gone, but last month we had 36 matches on the show. So they need to have one more match. I think this is really just to get Ricky Starks on the pay-per-view actually, and I think it's a decent reason enough to have a match. I want to see Ricky Starks on pay-per-view, and I want to see him walk out with a win, and I think he will. I think it's going to be Ricky Starks, because Ricky Starks has suffered a few big losses recently against Danielson, and who better to get the win back over Danielson's protege than Wheeler Yuta. So I think Ricky Starks is leaving with a victory.
And the lesson learned is never apologise.
Never say sorry.
A Top Contenders tag title 4-way match. It's the Young Bucks, it's the Lucha Brothers, it's the Gun Club, and it's the heady new crisp-loving combo of Orange Cassidy and Hook. Who you got and why?
It's the Gun Club. It's Bang Bang Gang's time. I genuinely think it's we didn't bring the... I've got the water. No, I'm not going to do it.
Just spat
everywhere. I think it's going to be the Guns. As much as we've seen their feud with FTR sort of run into the ground a little bit on the early, months of Collision, I think we need to get them back in that tag title division. I think they're on quite a roll, and I think they should have those AEW tag team titles. I think they should be the guys to beat FTR, and I think it's going to be soon, or hopefully soon. As much as Orange Cassidy and Hook are a really, really fun tag team, I just don't think they need to be in here. I don't think we need them to move into the tag team division. Both of those guys, Orange Cassidy had one hell of a run as international champion. Capitalise on that momentum. Don't keep him in the tag division. Like Bang Bang Gang's winning.
Oh, look at you, Bang Bang shooting from the hip, cowboy. You're right. Orange Cassidy and Hook are the odd ones in this match, which is why I think they're winning this match. I don't think that we're going to see a long run for Orange Cassidy and Hook. I think your fears I very much agree with. Okay. They both are better than as a tag team. I think this is just a little thing they're going to do. They're going to have themselves a win here over some established teams, and then we're going to have a banger match between FTR, Orange Cassidy and Hook, and then they'll carry on doing whatever. I don't think this is a long-term story development. I think this is just a chance to put all 8 of these guys on a pay-per-view, have a great match, and then maybe give us a very unorthodox tag title match on a Collision maybe next week or week after.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Cassidy and Hook.
Yeah, it's gonna be my guy.
They both like crisps.
Sticking with tag team titles and tag team matches, it's the AEW World Tag Team titles, and it's going to be FTR versus Aussie Open. Tom, who do you think's winning?
This is a reward for Aussie Open, I believe. They lost the ROH tag titles in the opening match at Wembley, and they've been very well featured really ever since. I don't see them winning belts here. I think FTR's title reign doth continue, but my days have these guys had some absolute barnstormers in the weeks and months gone by, not just here in AEW, but at New Japan as well. And it's just an opportunity for them to have a cracker of a match. But I don't think the titles are leaving with the Aussie lads. Who you got?
No, I think you're right. It just going back to the last match, the whole time when we were going, oh, who should the so-and-so face? We were going, who should face FTR, not who should face Aussie Open. So I think FTR leave with the belts here. Aussie Open absolutely deserve the spotlight, and I think they will be tag team champions at some point in the future, but they're not winning it at WrestleDream. FTR's reign will continue.
Sorry, lads. The Ring of Honor and New Japan Strong Championships on the line. The man who holds both golds, Eddie Kingston, faces Shibata. Who you got and why?
I think it's going to be Eddie Kingston. It has to be Eddie Kingston. He's just won the Ring of Honor belt. I can't see them taking it off him this soon, unless any injuries that he's got is actually worse than we originally think. But why put him in the ring with the wrestler Shibata? This match is going to be incredible. I think it's going to possibly steal the show. But I think Eddie Kingston's going to leave with both belts. Those reigns need to continue. Eddie is on fire right now. He's finally getting that sort of championship recognition that everyone wants from him. And I think that needs to continue. Shibata doesn't need another title reign here, or need a title reign here at all. But maybe you can extend this feud a little bit more. I would like to see more of this. But I think Eddie Kingston's leaving the belt. If
it was for one of the belts, I'd think there was maybe some jeopardy that maybe Shibata was going to take one of them. But the fact that it's for both says to me that Eddie's keeping both. I think there is an opportunity to create some magic here. I think this WrestleDream card, which is obviously in memory of Antonio Inoki, is just about putting on banger matches. And I think this will be another one. But I don't see Eddie Kingston, who has only just had this massively well received world title win. I don't see it ending now, just no matter how good Shibata is. So I think, like yourself, I say Kingston leaves with all the gold and maybe goes back to New York and has a coffee.
Then it's Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland. This is going to be a good match, Tom. Who do you think's winning?
Not my spot, your spot, my spot. I'm having a match for my spot. It's like the Arn Anderson thing and the Horseman all over again. Swerve wants Hangman's spot. I think he's taking it on Sunday. I think this has been a wonderful bit of build here. I think Swerve absolutely deserves to be front and centre, and there is something to be said for the story, the fact that Page maybe hasn't been on all cylinders as one would have believed. I think them taking the ROH six-man titles away from Swerve's boys, I think that leads me to believe that Swerve is going to get his revenge in big fashion at WrestleDream. Swerve for the dub. Who you got and why?
I think you're spot on. The whole thing sort of hinges around the fact that Swerve is going to get his win back for losing the six-man belts, I think. Swerve also needs a big showing on pay-per-view. Hangman really doesn't need it. Hangman's spot, as much as it is for the whole feud is revolving around Swerve wanting Hangman's spot is safe. This is the chance to elevate Swerve and make him one of the biggest deals in the company. Having a win over a former AEW World Champion like Hangman Page will solidify him in that position. And I think it's Swerve's time. It's Swerve's house. We're literally going to be in Swerve's house in Washington.
Oh.
I think Swerve is doing it.
I hope he hasn't set the alarm.
Oh, we don't want to break in.
Don't want to break into Swerve's house. A WrestleDream Dream Wrestling match. Bryan Danielson and Zack Saber Jr. Who you got and why?
Danielson. It's got to be Danielson. This is an absolute dream match, though. This is a match that is a year and a half in the making. We were going to get the first Forbidden Door. Injuries stopped that from happening. But we're getting it here at WrestleDream, and this sort of personifies the whole WrestleDream. This is a WrestleDream, this match. But I think Danielson wins it because he's on fire. He's had numerous wins over Ricky Starks. He's just back from injury, and I think, as much as Zack Sabre Jr. is a great technical wrestler, Bryan Danielson's the man who the award's named after. It's Bryan Danielson's whole thing. He is the best in the world, and I think he continues that with his win over Zack Sabre Jr. Plus, again, like Swerve, it's Washington. It's his home state. Give him a win.
And who better to end that wonderful hot streak of Bryan Danielson than Zack Sabre Jr. I could turn my WrestleDream into a Wrestle Nightmare for saying this, but I want Zack Sabre Jr. to win. If Bryan Danielson is going to lose in convincing fashion to anyone on planet Earth, he's going to do it for Zack Sabre Jr. This is going to be a great opportunity to showcase someone like Zack Sabre Jr. on a major platform. I don't think Bryan Danielson truly loses anything from losing to Zack Sabre Jr. here. I think that Zack Sabre Jr. has everything to gain from a win over Bryan Danielson. Doesn't have to be the cleanest of ones, but it certainly would be. And also, whether you can involve some shenanigans involving Ricky Starks. We know he's on the pay-per-view. It could be a way to further that if Starks helps Zack Sabre Jr. pick up this monumental win. I think Zack, I'm going to say it, Zack to win over Bryan Danielson.
Oh, no.
Let's do it. Come on.
You're going to be losing that. That's
that's an orienteering with napalm death for me. Should I not? We keep this on Sunday. You can watch us do live reactions to WrestleDream on Sunday. You can check out 9 pitches for WrestleDream right now on the channel. And after the live reactions, check out what happened with Jack the Jobber and the WTF moments with Ross Tweddle as well. It's a WrestleDream of a weekend. Have many happy WrestleDreams and have no Wrestle Nightmares until we speak.
It's good.
Thank you, mate.
Oh, that's really good. He's a pro, isn't he?
What a pro, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe. Anything you want to sign off on before I do love you bye?
See you later.
Click, click, love you bye.